You may have been enjoying the thrilling and intense predator movies for the last few decades, but did you ever wonder about the deeper aspects of their anatomy? Well, you're in luck, because in this video, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and rarely discussed aspects of predator lore, the reproductive cycle of the Yautja. Trust me when I say this, that the biology behind how these intergalactic hunters breed and give birth is absolutely mind-blowing. So stick around as we explore the courtship rituals, the brutal mating process, and everything you need to know about how predators bring new life into their warrior clans. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The biology behind Yautja reproduction. Let me start by crushing one of the biggest misconceptions about predators right out of the gate. Unlike what a lot of people assume about an extraterrestrial species that looks partially reptilian, the Yautja absolutely do not lay eggs. These creatures are mammals, just like us, with a reproductive system remarkably similar to humans. They've got distinct male and female sexes with corresponding reproductive organs, and they give birth to live young, not spawnlings that hatch from eggs. Now, the regular Yautja, the ones we typically see in the predator films and most of the expanded lore, have a sexual reproduction system that's essentially mammalian in nature. Females have an orifice between their legs that serves as a channel for childbirth, and they also possess breasts and nipples, which makes sense for nursing their young. Males, on the other hand, mostly have gonads and a phallic reproductive organ, though this has never been explicitly depicted in the lore, probably because the films have wisely avoided getting that detailed with their alien anatomy. Both sexes protect their crotch area with specialized armor, highlighting just how important and vulnerable these reproductive regions are to Yautja society. The Yautja aren't just shaped by their hunting culture. Their entire biology reflects their status-obsessed warrior mentality. I'm talking about a seasonal breeding cycle where only successful, proven hunters get access to multiple mates. It's not a free-for-all. It's a carefully controlled system built around honor, status, and hunting prowess. The mating season and status hierarchy. Unlike humans who can reproduce year-round, female Yautja experience estrus and enter a breeding cycle. When this happens, they release a potent pheromone, basically a chemical signal that attracts males from across their clans. When females enter heat, the males go absolutely wild trying to get the attention of available mates. But here's the thing, not all males get equal access to females. Status is everything in Yautja society, and your mating rights are directly tied to your hunting achievements and your rank within the clan. A young, unblooded Yautja, meaning a predator who hasn't yet completed their first successful hunt, won't even get a second glance from a female during mating season. Females are ruthlessly selective, and they're looking for proven warriors, not inexperienced kids playing at being hunters. High-status males, particularly blooded hunters and especially clan leaders, absolutely dominate the mating opportunities. These are the hunters with impressive trophy collections, the ones with multiple xenomorph kills, the warriors respected throughout their clans. Males of this caliber can claim dozens of mates throughout their lifetimes. We're talking about top-tier hunters like clan leader class Yautja who are said to have harems that rival their trophy collections. Some of the most elite hunters are known to sire up to 200 offspring in their lifetimes. These guys are like the Yautja version of prolific breeders, passing on their genes to ensure that warrior bloodlines continue and strengthen across generations. Now, there's actually a dark side to this status-based reproduction system. Yautja society practices what we could call reproductive eugenics. The elders of their clans can actually deem certain males as unfit to pass on their genes. In extreme cases, dishonorable or physically unimpressive males have faced surgical sterilization to prevent them from reproducing. One unfortunate Yautja named Lan Nixa was nearly castrated because he was considered too small to breed. Even among an entire species of apex predators, physical dominance and prowess matter. Size matters. the courtship ritual, and gift-giving. So, a high-status male has caught the attention of a female during mating season. But how does courtship actually work among these alien hunters? Well, males engage in something absolutely fascinating. They present hunting trophies to females as gifts. This isn't random or sentimental. It's a crucial part of their mating ritual. By gifting a trophy from a successful hunt to a female, a male is essentially proving his value as a provider and protector. He's showing that he's skilled enough to hunt dangerous prey, strong enough to survive the encounter, and worthy of passing on his genes. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective. In nature, females often select mates based on their ability to provide and protect offspring. Yautja females are doing the same thing, but their measure of a male's quality is his hunting ability. A bigger, fresher trophy speaks volumes about a male's capabilities. It's like bringing home a head from one of the galaxy's most dangerous species and saying, "Hey, look what I can do. I'd be a great father to your young." This trophy gifting custom really reinforces how hunting is absolutely woven into every aspect of Yautja culture. It's not just about combat and honor, it's about legacy and reproduction. The hunt and mating are fundamentally connected. The act of mating itself. Now, let's talk about what actually happens when a male and female decide to mate, and let me tell you, this is where things get rough. Remember earlier when I said Yautja reproduction is similar to humans? Well, I should clarify. The act of mating itself is far more aggressive than what we're used to. Yautja females particularly are known to be much more aggressive during mating than their male counterparts. In fact, there's a legendary account from a Yautja warrior named Dachande, who experienced firsthand just how intense female Yautja are during mating. According to lore, during an especially passionate mating season, Dachande was literally thrown across a room by his female partner. And Dachande isn't a small, weak Yautja. He's a seasoned, experienced hunter. But in the throes of their mating frenzy, female Yautja are powerhouses. Female Yautja are also known to howl in ecstasy during mating, which makes sense given how physically intense the experience is for them. This is serious business in their culture. Mating is pleasurable, yes, but it's also aggressive, passionate, and absolutely physical. Pregnancy, gestation, and development. Once mating has occurred and a female becomes pregnant, her physiology undergoes significant changes to support the developing offspring inside her womb. The gestation period for a Yautja is several months, not quite as long as a human pregnancy, but certainly a substantial amount of time during which the female's body is dedicated to nurturing her young. During gestation, the embryos develop within the mother's womb, drawing nourishment directly from her through what we'd call a placental connection, similar to human pregnancy. The process is incredibly complex and highly efficient, and Mother Nature, or in this case, evolution on a hostile alien world, has designed Yautja biology to ensure that the young are born fully formed and ready to begin their harsh training in survival and hunting. We actually have a rare, detailed account of what happens during Yautja childbirth, thanks to a short story in the anthology Predator: Eyes of the Demon. In this story, titled Field Trip, a pregnant female elite predator took a group of younger Yautja on a hunting trip to observe human hunting techniques and tactics. However, things took an unexpected turn when the female went into labor during combat with humans. Here's where it gets interesting. A human female actually came to the rescue and assisted in delivering the Yautja baby. The newborn Yautja was covered in a blue amniotic sac, basically the protective fluid sac that surrounded the baby during development, and was still connected to his mother via an umbilical cord, just like human babies. Another human cut the cord, and the newborn Yautja, despite not making a sound, was able to start suckling immediately when placed on the breast of its mother. The baby quickly earned the nickname Suckling from the humans who witnessed the birth. The account is incredibly significant because it demonstrates the remarkable biological similarities between Yautja and human reproduction. Both species undergo long gestations. Both give live birth with amniotic sacs and umbilical cords, and both rely on nursing to feed their young. The birth process itself is essentially the same, and perhaps most importantly for our discussion, this story confirms something crucial. Female Yautja typically give birth to only one baby at a time. Birth and early infancy. So when the time comes for a female to give birth, she delivers live young known as pups, or more formally in the lore, sucklings. These Yautja pups are immediately attended to by their mother, who ensures they're healthy and strong right from the moment of birth. Now, compared to many Earth species, Yautja pups are relatively self-sufficient from birth. They're not helpless little creatures that require constant coddling. These are the offspring of apex predators after all. Their newborn biology is primed for survival. However, that doesn't mean that they don't need their mothers and their clan. Young Yautja are absolutely dependent on their parents and their broader clan structure for guidance, protection, and education during these early stages of development. Female Yautja are reportedly extremely protective and caring of their offspring. There are accounts of Yautja mothers being fiercely defensive of their young and showing genuine emotional bonds with their children. Something that might surprise people who think of predators as purely honor-driven killing machines with no capacity for familial love. But the lore shows us that these warriors are capable of deep care for their children. The clan structure also plays a huge role in raising young Yautja. In Yautja society, mothers often live together with their children in small families, and sometimes these family units are part of larger clan groups. There's actual textual evidence of this from the Aliens vs. Predator Prey and Aliens vs. Predator War books, which describe mothers and families living together. The comics also show glimpses of a hidden predator society living in the mountains of South America, with predator mothers actively tending to Yautja children in what appears to be a relatively simple tribal lifestyle. Training and development of young Yautja. This is where the warrior culture really kicks in. From a very young age, Yautja pups are taught the skills necessary to become successful hunters. We're talking about tracking, stealth, hand-to-hand combat, weapon proficiency, the complete package of what it takes to survive and thrive as a predator. The training is rigorous and unrelenting. There's no easy path for young Yautja. There's only the hard path of continuous improvement and constant testing of their abilities. Training sessions often involve real hunts where young Yautja must prove themselves by capturing or killing live prey. These aren't simulations or training exercises in a controlled environment. These are actual dangerous hunting expeditions where failure means death. The role of elder females is crucial during this developmental phase. These experienced huntresses provide not only hands-on training, but also wisdom, guidance, and cultural education. They instill the values and traditions of their hunter society into the next generation. The Yautja recognize several stages of development in their young. First, there's the general young Yautja period, essentially childhood, where pups receive foundational training and education. As they progress and prove their abilities, they eventually reach the unblooded stage. Unblooded Yautja are juveniles who are still learning and developing their hunting and fighting skills. They're characterized by a violent, restless nature and lack the refinement and methodical approach of their older counterparts. Most unblooded are male, and they typically train in groups of around 15 to 20 predators, though some groups can swell to as many as 40 individuals. All of these young warriors train under the watchful eye of an experienced leader. Eventually, unblooded Yautja earn the right to participate in the blooding ritual, also known as the first hunt. This is their coming-of-age ceremony, a rite of passage that separates the truly committed hunters from the predators. The first hunt typically involves hunting xenomorphs. The Yautja word for them is Kende Amida, which translates to hard meat. Upon successful completion of their first significant kill, usually a xenomorph, the young Yautja is ready for marking with the blooded symbol. This symbol is written with a xenomorph finger, and the creature's acidic blood permanently burns the mark on the forehead of the predator. Being blooded is a huge deal. It means you're officially recognized as an adult hunter capable of taking on dangerous prey independently. the Hish-Qu-Ten subspecies. Now, before we wrap up, I want to address a really unique and bizarre alternative to standard Yautja reproduction, the Hish-Qu-Ten. These are a controversial subspecies of Yautja that appeared primarily in the book Predator Forever Midnight, and let me tell you, they're absolutely different when it comes to reproduction. The Hish-Qu-Ten are hermaphrodites. They're a phrasal hermaphroditic race, meaning that they can involuntarily change their gender multiple times throughout their lives. These gender changes happen unpredictably and can be triggered randomly, sometimes even in the middle of a hunt or battle, which obviously creates some complications. Unlike regular Yautja, who have distinct males and females, Hish switch between being the generative breeder, essentially the male role, and the female role. As for offspring, Hish-Qu-Ten children are called spawnlings, and here's where it gets really different from regular Yautja. Instead of giving birth to a single pup, Hish-Qu-Ten mothers typically give birth to a much larger number of children at once. We're talking about an average of about 6 spawnlings per female, or sometimes even more. This makes sense evolutionarily because the Hish are a less refined species than standard Yautja, living in chaotic swamps with harsh conditions, where having more offspring increases the chances that at least some will survive to adulthood. The care of Hish spawnlings is quite different too. The Hish seem to view raising young as more of an annoyance than a crucial cultural duty. They don't take their children on educational hunts the way regular Yautja do. Instead, they use remote-controlled humans that their spawnlings can control telepathically. Basically, they make human slaves into avatars for their children to hunt through. It's a much less direct, much less honorable approach to raising the next generation, which really reflects the overall difference in culture between the Hish and regular Yautja. Female Yautja and their role in reproduction. I should also talk a bit more about female Yautja themselves, because they're absolutely crucial to this entire reproduction cycle, yet they're almost never featured in the films. Female Yautja are known to be larger and more physically imposing than their male counterparts. Some lore suggests they're the matriarchal leaders of their clans, making them essentially the queens of their societies. They're often more methodical and calculated than males, who tend to be more reckless and driven by testosterone-fueled bravado. Interestingly, while males seem to be polygamous, with high-status individuals claiming multiple mates, females appear to be largely monogamous, or at least more selective about their mating choices. We know this because there's an entire clan of female predators in the lore called the Widow Clan, comprised of females whose mates have fallen in battle. Importantly, these females don't go looking for new mates after their partners die. They stay together, maintaining their bonds and their honor to their fallen companions. This tells us that female Yautja form deeper, more meaningful bonds than simple reproductive partnerships. Female Yautja are formidable warriors themselves, just as capable and deadly as their male counterparts. Some of them actively participate in hunts alongside males, and when they do, they prove themselves to be absolutely lethal. The lore provides several accounts of exceptional female hunters with impressive trophy collections and well-earned reputations as killers. Reproductive longevity and legacy. One last thing I want to touch on. Yautja live for an incredibly long time. They have lifespans that can stretch into hundreds of years, and because of this extended lifespan, their reproductive years are also much longer than humans. A male Yautja can father offspring throughout much of his adult life, which is why we see some of the most legendary hunters siring massive numbers of offspring, sometimes up to 200 in their lifetime. This extended reproductive capacity also means that legacy and bloodline are absolutely significant concepts in Yautja culture. Producing a strong brood is about perpetuating your hunting lineage, your genetic legacy, and your contributions to the strength and reputation of your clan. Top-tier hunters view reproducing prolifically as a high achievement, right up there with the greatest hunting accomplishments. Marvelous verdict. Yautja mating cycle reveals what makes them great warriors. From their seasonal breeding cycles tied directly to hunting status, to their aggressive mating rituals, to the birth of single, self-sufficient pups, to the rigorous training of the next generation of hunters, every aspect of predator reproduction reflects their warrior culture and advanced biology. These are complex beings with a reproduction system that's shaped by honor, achievement, and the continuation of hunting legacies. The similarities to human biology, the live birth, the nursing, the maternal instinct, show us that despite their alien appearance and predatory nature, Yautja are fundamentally not so different from us. They care for their young, they form bonds with their offspring, and they pass on their knowledge and values to the next generation. They just happen to do it with a lot more violence and a lot more emphasis on killing prowess. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the Yautja reproductive system and unique rituals, and also share your views on whether or not you'd like to see more about this in an upcoming Predator movie. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.